Language.
Oh, sorry. Rolling it. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We are here.
Perfect. Sorry, buddy. I just turned the knob on. I was like, doesn't Paul Kennel have the heat on?
You want the heat on? I thought we were going for the cold weather experience.
This is typical Porsche. Turn that up.
There we go.
That up. Bam.
Bam.
So this is easier than the older ones.
Oh, yeah, slightly.
All right, so we are in a 1988 Carrera 3.2 Cabriolet, and quite frankly, I was colder before we left. It's warming up quite nicely.
Yeah.
I see why people do it. You know, I'm not a cabriolet guy, but I do get why people do it every time I get into it.
I'm pleasantly surprised that this is a pleasant drive. I figured it would be more turbulent.
So did I. Now, I thought air turbulent and car drive turbulent, but this seems to handle very nicely. Now, I'm not pushing it. We're like 60 miles an hour, nice mountain drive.
But at 60 miles an hour, I figured it'd be a little more flexible. I didn't think it'd be this flat.
There is more torsional rigidity than I thought also.
Yeah.
Let's see how it takes this turn. Come in. I'll tell you what, it still turns in nice.
Yep.
I mean, I tried to make that a little bit of drama, and the car was like, no, I'm just gonna take it. I don't know, man. This is like, I thought there'd be a tremendous amount to say, but I wonder if this is gonna be one of those segments where each and every time we're like, I love it, no, I love it, no, I love it.
I think we're just surprised of the quality of all these drives. Like, I haven't had anything negative to say about any of them. I had opinions before I said, like, sitting in the car of what this would be like,
Yes.
but it's nothing like that.
No, I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, that's a great idea. What we think it's gonna be.
Yeah, and then what it actually is.
Can I tell you something else I thought of? And I know it's cheesy, but I want to do it. I think we should come up with a rating system that is as simple as Siskel and Ebert. And you and I have two thumbs. Here we go. Got one of your stickers. See if you notice it. Stamped. Everything feels good. 56,000 miles, probably 57 by the end of the day. Feels like a new car. Yeah. I mean, it holds. Yeah. Magnus Walker. Speaking of our friend Magnus Walker, he was on the show yesterday, and he brought Hannah's Rolls Royce. It was a 1975 Rolls Royce, and it was something about that car. You don't have to try. You're welcome anywhere. It's a friendly, classy ride. Something about this is very similar. It's a friendly, classy ride. You'd be welcome anywhere in it. You can show up at a Cars and Coffee. You can go out to dinner with your wife. You show up looking at a house in this car. They know you can do it. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of panache that comes with it that I'm feeling now after spending some time with it. I get it. I get it now.
I think the sound of the 3.2 really helps with the styling of this car.
You know what? It sounds great. We should find out if there's an exhaust on it or not. It sounds fantastic.
Like if it were a 2.7 and it's high revving, it would be too loud to cruise in it.
Yes. But this still has a nice tone with the roof down. And it's loud enough that you can hear it, but it's not too. I like it.
I like it too.
David, what would you rate this car?
I'd give it a thumbs up for sure. Yeah, thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Cool.
We both like it, and we both give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
That's how that works.
Do you feel as sexy as you look?
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels real good. Let's get that echo out of here. Oh, what's happening, Mrs. Ryan? Welcome back. Are you okay?
I'm putting my kin down.
Thought you fell over there.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, sorry we're late. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset, everybody. My name is Jay Ryan. Over here we have Nicole Ryan, and we've got a great show lined up for you this evening. In fact, that's why we were delayed, making sure that everything worked just such. Our guest, you know him from... let's see. Let's go down the list here. We know him from The Drive. We know him from Hagerty. We know him from The Smoking Tire, obviously. The fake, but today, very real, Zack Klapman is here. And there he is. What's up, buddy? Oh, look at that. He's coming in. Come on in.
So good to
Sure. Yeah. Come on in. That's amazing. Pull that towards you wherever you're ready. There's a water for you. And that way you can be here for the other stuff we have to do.
Yes.
And this is good. I have to move a camera real quick, but other than that, I think we're set. So I'll just bring this stuff over by request.
I requested all of these.
That's right.
I requested 3 bottles of liquor since I am a French royal from the 1400s.
All right, we'll get the Madman glasses out here. So what we have, we
Jeez.
got, this is Makers and a Bullet, which I would recommend. This one got cloudy, so I don't know what the hell that is. But there's other stuff
interesting.
up there too. If you
Yeah,
wanted
this
a whiskey,
isn't enough of an
if you
offering.
wanted a whiskey, we've got the, or whatever, one of these here, a bourbon, and we've got that. So I don't know what.
Let's
what your fancy
let's
is.
do the Bullet Rye.
There you
I
go.
know it well, and
Help
these
yourself to
other
that.
mystery liquids I'm not sure of.
Help yourself to that.
What
This is
else
Maker's
did you
Mark.
put in them?
This one's Maker's Mark. This one, that looks like apple cider. I don't know what in
Right.
that one.
Well,
But
if
we're
you
going to
add
have
enough strange powder to whiskey, it'll look like apple cider.
The Mrs. and I, we don't drink anymore, but we've got some Coca-Cola and La Batea here to go the Mexican Coke here to go with you and your servings.
My God, please order that at a restaurant once, and they'll just look at you and they'll be like, "We don't have that vintage.
Do you know
Do you have Coca-Cola a la Batea?"
the way I learned to order this was because I grew up a giant Coke fan when I was a kid, Coca-Cola.
Right.
When I was a little
Productivity off the charts.
kid. And we had, that's right, couldn't keep me in one place.
Mom, can I have more blocks? I really need more blocks. I lost the other ones again. I sold them. I sold the
threw
blocks.
them in
I got
the
a new
woods.
bike, though. I got a new bike. Mom, do you want a new bike? I can get you a bike.
We had a family trip to Colombia. We had a relative who lived in Colombia, South
Just
America.
all adds up really
Speaking
well.
of Coke, and I was this kind of Coke, and they had everything was in the bottles like this there, and we didn't have that here. It was the plastic, plastic
Right.
cans and whatever the fuck. So whenever I would order a Coke, or whenever we'd go someplace, of course I'd order a Coke because I was like a big nut for this. We had the signs, and like whenever there was a tag sale or whatever, I'd get the stuff. Anyway. They wouldn't bring it in the bottle, of course, because you'd go to a restaurant or at the club or whatever the fuck. So you'd have to ask for them to bring it in a bottle. So I got taught by everyone how to order Coca-Cola in La Batea in the bottle. Yeah. And then it was pointed out to me very quickly afterwards that I was insulting every restaurateur that we went to because I was basically saying that their glasses were dirty.
Oh, wow. That's how they were
just be
saying.
like, I'm just a big fan of Coca-Cola and I collect all these bottles. Came back from Colombia with like 12 different size, shape.
You're like, I've never seen any athletes holding a glass of it. They're always holding the bottle.
So it is what it is. Welcome. Good
Thank
to
you for
see
having
here,
me.
man.
This is the most obscene, amazing thing
Oh.
I've ever seen in this city. It's really incredible.
I'll take it.
It's really, I don't know, people, if you're watching, if you can appreciate, like, there's a city skyline. This is in an apartment. It looks like an,
This is
legitimate
also-
late night set.
And I'm literally going to do what you would have done.
Do you know how many lights there are above us right now? Where's our A camera actually? Right? Is this one? 15. Really, 15 lights. There's 4. I mean, there are more lights here than basically any TV set.
The truth is, there are about
There's sound paneling.
30-something different fixtures in this room.
Ridiculous.
And that's the shot I was looking for. There it is.
There we go.
Look at that.
I guess.
So, now we'll bring the Instagram audience over. There we go. Now we wave.
Hi, everybody. Wave, thumbs up, tap all the buttons. I need like a poker stick.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can help me figure out how to do this because, as you know, we're always kind of trying to. The wheel is being reinvented every single day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we've gotten kind of a thing here where we're kind of sharing the Instagram audience in, and we can even, as you know, bring them in here.
Right.
For this type of a result.
Bingo.
And touring. Oh boy. See, now this is where it gets complicated, Zach. So the thing is all the way over there. So I have to then look at it. Tell me, does this make sense to you? I have to look at it then on here.
Yeah.
And then so we can answer the questions or whatever from here.
I think that,
make
that's
sense? Hi, Porsche
That's
girl.
your best system, unless you can move that closer, which you can't because you need like a wide frame.
I can move it closer. We had it on the desk here, but then it would be between the two of us or like somewhere else it's going to be in.
Or do you need another iPad, yet another screen next to this screen showing the live questions?
Ooh.
Can you log in with 2 devices to the same Instagram account? Probably not.
No. In fact, I have to have the playset on this one. If I switch to Porsche Life, that will kill.
Got it.
Die.
Okay. I think this is the system for now. I think you just need a pokey stick with like an eraser on the end. Or a
Speaking
human
of pokey
finger.
stick, there's your Chiron.
That's right. Follow me at fake Zack Klapman. There's someone else has Zack Klapman, and I was like, I'm not buying a domain from somebody.
Have you looked recently? Like, have you tried to?
No.
I have been looking recently, just for the sake of maybe not having Porsche in the name, just for future's sake, because at some point I'll be
cars.
asked to remove that.
Right.
Well, also I'll be asked to remove that at some point. Hopefully, God willing, we get big enough. Porsche will be like, why is that in there?
I don't know how that works. You're not Singer.
Everything else is that?
No, it's not a dig. Like, I don't know if they'll go, this is infringing on our copyright because you have our name in your name. I'm not sure.
They're weird like that.
Okay.
Like, Drew 911 Cool. He was 911 Cool. Now he's Cooled Collective.
Oh.
Reason for that.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I retract.
And a lot of other people too. We knew it used to be called Porsche Drive on Instagram. It was like 100,000 followers, and then had to change the name to like Pass Drive or something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
They should just change their name to like Audi Drive. Or
Yeah,
like Ferrari Drive.
that
Like, oh,
drive.
okay. You want me to change my name? Ferrari Drive.
Oh man, I'm so happy you're here. You came and sat in before we actually even did the hello, so I forget what I've done over here for everybody else. But I like that we're winging it because that's what you guys do.
That's what we do.
On the Smoking Tire.
On the Smoking Tire podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm the co-host over there, and we keep it pretty loose. We have a lot of good guests on from, I don't know, car company CEOs, comedians, race car drivers, journalists, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we just want to make it a conversation with the person who comes in the room. We don't want to have, we just never wanted to have pre-planned segments or anything. We just wanted to talk to the person.
And all the production rigmarole that comes along with it.
Also that. We didn't want to do that.
There have been a handful today.
Yeah, very true.
I said this before, and none of our audience got to hear, but I truly think it's because you were here. Because I both got not nervous. It was like, oh, Zach's here. He's another production guy. He literally knows how all this stuff works.
He'll fix
I don't
it.
have to. Well, no, but it was
No,
like,
I know.
I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress. Historically, like the first time Magnus was here, can't remember what, but something. Jeff Zwart here, can't remember what, something.
Oh, man.
It seems like whenever there's, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're one of those bigger guests, Zach. No. It must happen to you too. Does that ever happen to you where just something happens?
Yeah, I think if someone comes on that I feel more comfortable with, and especially if I start talking to them 10 minutes before the show, I might go, you know what, this stuff's gonna work. I want 10 minutes to talk to this person before we start, recording, and that's when you don't, dot your I's and check your T's, and then that's when something falls apart.
I was having such a good time talking to you that I didn't check T's or I's, and then weird ones and zeros.
Yeah, and the things that you would have caught 5 minutes before the show that you would have figured out, you go, I got 5 minutes. Now you have 12 seconds to fix this problem, and you're freaking out.
So maybe that's part of it. Like it's a situation that you created, right? And then there's just you're right.
Yeah, the self-loathing.
Closing circle.
Yeah, the closing circle. You're in the trash compactor in Star Wars, and you're like, oh man, I turned the button on. Crap.
Oh God. For me, it'll always be Temple of Doom. We are going to die.
Oh, with all the ground falling off and
when they're in the thing and it's the same thing, but it's this.
Oh, it's vertical.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just
and then he
reach
puts
your
the
hand
skull. No, that's the door. He braces the door with the skull.
You're still good. It's all the same scene.
It's all the same scene.
What they end up having to rely on, of course, is the girl to come in and put her hand in the bug hole and pull the thing and all that.
That's right. Which is really kind of a metaphor for life, because women usually go through the dirtier job of birthing children and keeping life going, and you're welcome. And
I am going to say that we are already at a rapid pace here, and it brings me to one of the things that the people on Instagram wanted to know about you.
Oh,
are you going to be a comedian at any point? Like, what's the deal? Because you already are. You already are, whether you're on stage or not.
I want to be, but first I was too afraid to do open mics when I first moved here, because it's a terrifying thing to do. I think, as Seinfeld put it really well, he's like, the hard thing about comedy is you're presenting your thoughts, opinions, and self to an audience. And if they don't like it, he's like, it's not like they don't like your spreadsheet. It's not like they don't like, the car you built. He's like, they don't like you.
Yeah, so very personal.
Gutting. So that was the thing. But now, for the last 5 years, I've had 2 jobs. Like, I was working full-time as a production job for Tangent Vector, which produced Drive on NBC Sports, Proving Grounds, the Apex, the story of the hypercar documentary, and I was also doing the Smoking Tire. So time was super thin.
Yeah.
And now I have only the Smoking Tire, and then we have a pandemic, and open mics are really not, like, that is a petri dish. You're like, let's all share this stick we're spitting at.
It was awful then.
Yeah,
it was awful then. I mean,
we
always made jokes about it, even on this show, because it was like, that's an inside joke among comic people. Like, you're going on the road, bring some something. Bring
your own microphone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and you get crap for that. But, like, especially now, you have to do it.
Now you have to do it. I don't think anyone would make fun of you now.
Not now.
But I think they're just closed now. It's like, how many coffee shops are open and going to allow a group of people to sit close to each other and just watch strangers talk, like, at them?
No.
Yeah.
No. None.
I don't know. Yeah. I should just do more Instagrams or TikToks and do a bunch of silly stuff.
Well, I think you're doing the right thing with, luckily you are one of the people who have a forum. I mean, you have a place where you're on a mic almost every day.
Whoops.
And you can move that wherever you want. That's why it's on.
I don't want to touch anything except these 2 things. Everything here. This is the cleanest apartment I've ever been in, everyone.
Oh, sorry, you're...
Jay Ryan would be a very successful serial killer if he wanted to be. Or maybe you're the meticulous one, because this place...
I'm the meticulous one.
There's not a hair
But I
on
may
the
kill
ground.
her, because she's not... So it's Felix and Oscar, if you remember The Odd Couple.
Yeah, no, I have that same relationship. My girlfriend's like, you gonna leave that there? I'm like, yeah, why? And she's like, no, that's not where it goes. I'm like, that's true. But it's there now. It'll move immediately.
Every single time I come over to fill in for you, if you are out doing one of those other jobs and or you're back or whatever, first thing I do is clean up. All right, is everything where it should be? All right, let's go. And I figure, but that's how I always was, because again, that was the union, that was like the NBC way. Like, all right, if there's a checklist and you do it like you're a pilot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff matters. We're curing cancer.
Oh yeah, we're flying.
Got to get Rosie on the
That's
air.
That's really what we're doing.
But all that shit's ingrained in me. So, do you have an OCD bone in your body? Are you are you that way at all? I think I'm nuts.
I think I have it, but I don't put it to use. So I think I'm like it's the devil and the angel type of thing.
Yeah.
So one part of me is like, this should be cleaned up, and the other part of me like, we have other things to do. No, I'm not like somebody will do it because I'm the only one in the studio who's doing that stuff. But it's like, right, but there's 5 other things to do. Which one's more important? And then you just kind of go in the tightening circle, and then you just go edit something or do something else, and the pencils stay out of place.
That's where it's nice to be the guy who I just show up. Like, I don't have any of those other responsibilities. I can do just this little thing. Well, let's put everything back where
Like
'Cause it needs
if
to
I
be
worked at
however-
NASA, I'd be the ideas guy. I'd be like, we should really make sure that all of these specs are checked 4 times. And they go, you want to do that? I go, you don't want me to do that. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I'm the idea guy. Okay. My idea is that the rockets should work and go where they're trying to go. And they'd be like, brilliant idea. Like, thank you very much. Yeah.
Sorry, bringing us down there. It was all in the red. This will be one of those episodes, by the way, where watch we'll put it back and it. Well, no one said anything yet, so I guess we're okay there. Because if you're live and you put it out, they would say, "Hey, your audio's shit," right?
Yep. Yeah. They always check for us, which is helpful.
You guys have a great audience when it comes to that stuff.
They're vocal. So,
Oh, is that what it is?
well, I mean, people are, I'd say most of the audience are really cool where they're like, hey, man, audio looks good. It sounds good because they were there in the beginning when we started this experiment. And so they're very helpful. But then there's a couple of them who jump in and it's just all caps, swear words. And what's really funny is when one person, this is very inside baseball, but one person didn't turn their like volume up. And they're like, this audio is terrible. And then you have 20 other people who are like, sounds fine, sounds great, sounds fine. And you're just like, well, talk amongst yourselves, have a good time.
Fight it out.
They self-police now, which is nice.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's definitely not a bad thing.
It's like having mods.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like having mods. It's a forum with mods.
The Twitch.
The kids love the Twitch.
Got stuck there on a loop. The Twitch has like you can apply mods. Does YouTube have that? Like if you had 2 or 3 people that you really trusted?
Yeah, you can make admins or moderators or stuff like that.
Oh,
And give them
okay.
certain levels of access depending on what you want to let them do and not do. You
Yeah.
can't have them police. But we just, I don't know. No one's ever done anything terrible in the comments. Sometimes we'll get spam and I just click ban. And it's like, it's literally been like one person in a show every 15 shows.
And you're talking about like, oh, for Viagra or, hey, I made money from Bitcoin. You should click on this.
Yeah,
or,
someone got in there and was just like reposting the same political sentence over and over again. And it was like, okay, you're clearly just trolling the audience. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to ban you. And then some person just started like shouting their question over and over again. Like, that's not how this works.
you got to donate to the super chat.
Yeah, but it was also just, you're acting like an infant. You're just going, you're just
Mom,
going,
Mom, Mommy, Mom,
exactly.
Mommy.
Yeah, Zach,
Hi.
Zach, ask him about my MR2. Ask about the MR2. Did you guys drive the MR2? Ask about, and the whole audience in the chat is just like, dude, calm down. And the guy's just losing his mind. And it's definitely a dude. So then we ban him.
Do you have to ban people sometimes?
For the show, for a day, for 1 hour.
Oh,
You can do
just off the
timeout
live.
too. You can go 5 minutes timeout, or they're just banned off the live for like a second. We don't like ban people from the channel.
Good.
Yeah.
Elitist assholes.
It got so quiet. I cast you aside.
Yeah.
Forever banished to the other 48,000 automotive YouTube channels you can find on YouTube.
Right. Where are you going to find another automotive content?
It's like,
to play
Lord of the
some-
Rings, but there's a lot of rings.
That's right. But everybody precious. We're all the same way. My content. Ugh. Everybody turns into Zuckerman.
No, we're very unique and special. Everyone should watch our channel.
That's right. Actually, all 3 of your channels.
That's right. Yeah, we have. Thank you for that. That's very seamless. We launched a new Clips channel, so TST Podcast Clips. And if you don't have the time to listen or watch a full episode, go there and we just have, basically it's a highlight reel, like our best of stuff. So it's 3 minutes to 12 minutes, race car drivers, comedians, all that stuff. And we put out 5 videos a week.
Holy
yeah.
snot.
Well, we have back catalog. I'm cheating. We're publishing 5 videos a week on the Clips channel.
From the old show.
From
See,
the old
that's-
stuff, yeah.
I think I told you right before the show, like we have been talking about, like everything else, we talk about it for years. There's only 2 of us. There's only so much stuff. 1.5 of us.
Yeah. 1.5? You
I'm
2 people.
negative. It's fine.
No, you're okay. But things aren't as easy as they
Yeah,
used to be. But we've been talking about this Clips channel because Joe Rogan does it, and like you said, Segura does it, and they work. They straight up work.
Right.
Because you get caught into it, and it's only 5 minutes, and you watch another 5-minute thing, and then another 5-minute thing, and you end up. I don't know, whatever. Do you find that it's working out for you? Is this something that maybe we should think about doing?
It's
more
honestly
than just
so
talk about?
fresh, like it's still theoretical, but it just makes sense. Some people are more likely to share a 5-minute video. Or actually, I'll say this: if they're going to tell their friends, like, you should check out this show, and they send you a 5-minute clip, you're more likely to watch or listen to it for 5 minutes. If someone's like, check out this 90-minute podcast.
Nope.
Yeah,
that's a
someone
good
have to be
point.
like really convicted and really, impress upon me why they like it so much. But if it's 5 minutes and it's funny, or it's someone I know, or it's Tommy Kendall talking about his insane race car that was faster than an F1 car, like, I'll listen to that for 5 minutes and see if I like it for sure.
There are certain personalities that people will tune in for without a doubt.
This is why there are movie trailers. It's not like it works. You just show people a little bit of it and get them hooked.
in a world,
In a world,
in a place.
in a world where Adam Ferrara sits in a room with another guy and talks about cars.
Wait, are you working for Adam Ferrara now too?
I would.
That
Sure.
was confusing because he's my buddy,
Yeah. He sat in this chair. I feel very special. I'm a huge fan of his. I'm a huge fan.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, well.
Dude, I watched all the Rescue Me's. I remember his stand-up on Comedy Central when he did
Holy
his
shit.
30-minute special, and he had a joke about water coming out of the wall in the shower and how his girlfriend would get mad because there's water everywhere, and he's like, the water's coming out of the wall. That's how it works. He's great.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn him, but that's why he was on your show. I put that together.
Oh, yeah. No, we know. Thank you
Oh.
very much.
All right. I wanted to see
You're
it.
the matchmaker.
When Adam was here, I was like, we're just East Coast buds. Like this, that's how it was when we met, and we became friends immediately. And when I was talking to him after a while, and we both, whatever the thing is that you let down was down, it felt like when we were talking to Matt when you're not on the air. And I was like, these guys, and they already knew each other, I think, from Top Gear and Cars and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, these guys, this is a good show. You're already Mr. Comedy. I didn't know you were a fan of his, but I knew
can't
you
keep
could
up
have
with that dude. He's so fast. He's just.
They
man.
both were. That episode,
Yeah,
I felt like
it
I was in
really
the room.
was a vibing episode.
Every single thing they talked about was stuff from my life because, again, growing up in the same area.
Yeah.
And the Back to the Future shoe, like, I launched that.
That shoe is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a knockoff of something that I think is really overpriced. It's expensive and you can't wear it.
Yeah,
It's
all
like
the
this is
above.
meant for a Lexan display case.
There was other things you guys talked about. Bob's Discount Furniture and the Bobopedic and everything. I had a Bobopedic from come on down. Bob's.
What was Bobopedic? I was born in California.
And Rye Playland and everything else.
We
All right.
had flip-flops. We're big on flip-flops. My town was like, are you a reef person? Are you a rainbow person?
Oh,
I'll
because you
fight
had to choose.
Yeah, you did.
All right. We should probably talk about you instead of me and how much I like Adam Ferrara and Matt Farah and you together. You did grow up out here.
Santa Cruz.
Seriously?
Yeah, NorCal.
You know that thanks to you being here today, you get a $50 gift certificate to Cruz into Wellness, CBD. The
Really?
Cruz is with a Z.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take that.
But
I need
it's-
that stuff.
Cruz is in Santa Cruz.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm very surprised that Santa Cruz makes marijuana products. Very,
Yeah,
very
can you believe it?
surprised. That must be the first place there that does that.
Hang on.
People are
Allow
like, why
me.
didn't you go to college there? Like, well, the mascot is the Banana Slugs. They're the best ultimate Frisbee team in the nation year over year. Like, I don't know.
Well, allow me then. Need a lift lately? Cruise into a healthy 2021 with Cruise into Wellness CBD. The Cruise is with a Z. CruiseIntoWellness.com. So yeah, you really
I'll
do
try
get
it.
a
I will.
$50 gift certificate.
I will.
They've got
like,
great
actually
rubs
try
and
it.
stuff.
I need all that stuff.
Great gummies. Martha Stewart gummies.
They're from her, really?
They have all sorts
She
of
makes
stuff.
it.
That's amazing.
They make
Isn't
their
that
own,
an
but she's got her own
amazing
line.
thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So growing up in Santa Cruz, were you always into cars? How did you become the Zack Klapman that we all know today? And then we'll get to some Instagram things and some videos to play.
Sure. I think I just was always into them, and I don't know why. Because my parents weren't into cars. You know, my dad has a '72 Volvo P1800 ES. Like that was his first
love
car,
the
which is a cool
P1800.
car.
Yeah,
But
What-
he
what
wasn't
year is
like
it?
72.
So it's got the chrome strip, but not the. But it's a
does
sedan
look-
still. It's not the
No,
wagon
it's
thing.
a shooting brake.
Oh, it is
It's
the one.
a shooting
Oh, I
brake.
love that car.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it's got the metal trim and the wagon back.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really unique looking car. I didn't appreciate it at the time when I was a kid, but now like it has a cult following, and it's a good looking car. The little it has like fins on, kind of like ridges on the fenders that run the whole length of it, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
round
gorgeous.
and a little bit, I don't know, sporty looking, which it's
Well,
not.
it's got it always to me, especially the coupe, but even the sedan. The wagon, you can see it as well. Shooting brake. Sorry.
Yeah,
It has got the lines of the DB5.
yeah, a little bit.
From the front
Right.
headlight all the way to the
Got that
tail.
the tension type thing, right? All the way
Yeah.
down. That's true. Never a less adjustable steering wheel in a worse place. It is vertical. Like it is. It was like when I first drove it when I was 16. I was like, oh, this is like when you were a kid and you just go to amusement park and they have like fake steering wheel next to pirate ship. It's like that vertical, and the shifter feels like it has 3 shifting boots around it. Like something's in the way all the time.
Right.
And you know,
I gotta
like,
clean this out.
and like Kit Cobra shifters are angled really forward. This was angled so far back that when you go into fourth, the grip would almost touch the center console. Like ergonomically, the seats were actually very good, but the rest of it just made no sense. But that was back in the day when crumple zones didn't exist. They didn't care what size a person was.
Yours probably didn't come with seatbelts. They probably put him in, right?
It did have seatbelts.
Oh, it came with them?
Yeah, incredibly, it
My
had
friend
seatbelts.
had one of those, the coupe, and it didn't. He had to put the seatbelts in.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
And they were only lap belts.
That's surprising from Volvo because they created the 3-point seatbelt, didn't they?
What they did everything.
back in, like,
The space
56.
frame. They did all of
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
They were the ones. Remember? I mean, obviously the same thing. That Crazy People movie in that episode with Adam Ferrara as well. I love that. Boxy but good.
Boxy but good.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were fast.
That's the Dudley Moore movie.
Yes.
Dudley Moore.
What's your favorite line from that? Do you remember?
No, not line by line.
When
I need to rewatch.
Oh, dude, you have to. It's Paul Reiser and Dudley Moore so good. They're having a conversation as Paul Reiser is driving Dudley Moore to the mental institution against his will and dropping him off to stay there. And they're talking about, oh, it's not your fault. It's just, these things just happen. And he goes, listen, you did quite a bit of silent farting in the car, so you're not perfect either.
That's great.
I forgot about that one.
Jaguars for men who like hand jobs from women they just met, right?
From
Barely
women they
know.
hardly know.
Barely
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Come to Greece. Forget France. The French are annoying. Come to Greece. We're nicer. There's so many great ones. I have ADD while I'm talking to you because I'm just enjoying this
car
so much.
stuff,
I'm so
right?
glad you're here. Yeah, let's talk car stuff.
So I was just
You
into
described,
cars.
you said you weren't in cars because of your family, but then you described a very collectible car that your dad had.
Yeah, but he's like a hoard person, so I think he bought it, and then 20 years later, he's like, "I'm just gonna keep this. It works fine." You're like, "It doesn't work fine most of the time." But when I was 5, I just started drawing cars, and I had one of those like Crayola car design kits. You put wings on everything, and I just remember I burned through the whole kit in like a day. So I was just into them. And then there were a lot of hot rod shows in Santa Cruz. That was the car scene I was privy to. Like that was the most common car show. I honestly didn't know about European cars, import cars at all until high school. So I would just go to car shows near Canopa's place, ironically, and just look at like 55 Chevys and 33 Fords and all that kind of stuff. And I was really into that all the way until I wanted to turn a car. So like in high school, I was in a car club and it was all like muscle cars. It was just, I was driving.
Because that's what was local.
That's what was local. And I think that's what we were exposed to in my generation. Yeah, like it was, kid had a AMX this or a 66 Nova or whatever truck, and everyone just wanted to make a lot of noise and not go very fast.
Yeah. How old are you?
Now, 38.
So like the buy-in was probably still affordable then to get into a
dude.
muscle car, like before
Yeah.
the muscle car thing happened.
Yeah, it was cheap. I mean, you could get, if you had $2,000, you could have a V8 powered something, probably with a manual transmission. It might be primer, but no one cared because everyone just wanted to try to go fast on Highway 1. So, like, my parents helped me out a little bit, and I was lucky to have a 65 Pontiac that looked like a GTO and had a GTO engine in it, and it was not expensive at all. It had paint on it, which made it look really cool, and a lot of rust, which made it a dumb purchase and hard to resell. That's what I learned from that car.
What year was it?
65.
Is that the first year?
The first year of GTO was 64 when they had the horizontal headlights, and then they switched to vertical.
That was only 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
But the vertical
it
was
looks
like
so
the Vin Diesel Triple X.
Exactly. That was like what they became known for, with the vertical lights and then the flared out grille in the front that was smaller, tapered
Right, with a
outward.
little mustache in there.
Exactly,
I love
kind of like
little
that.
thing. Little,
Yeah.
What's up?
Hello.
One of my best friends in the world is Catherine DeLorean, daughter of John DeLorean.
Wow.
He made that car.
Right,
I'm
he
sure
designed that car.
I'm sure you're not a stranger to that.
No, I'm not.
Created the damn muscle car.
Yeah, he did.
What was the logic? Was just big engine and small car, right?
Pretty much. I think they wanted to sell performance packages to people that didn't want to buy all the luxury stuff in a car.
But that was a DeLorean thing, right? Like nobody had.
They kind of
He didn't
cracked
think
that
people
open.
would want that, right? Or rather, people. The GM didn't think people would want that.
Yeah, I think so. But the other companies really quickly caught on. I mean, once it started selling well, it was like, look, here's a relatively cheap coupe that weighs whatever, because everything back then was heavy but light. But you can option with a big engine, and like obviously it was a moment later that Chevy and everybody else started offering the same thing, because that's
Right.
how you could get your Yenko Camaro package or your 426 Hemi, but in a stripped out Cuda or whatever it is. Like it just snowballed so fast.
Right.
But which obviously led to, I think, one of the funnest eras in modern times. I mean, if I could go back in time, like that was a great time to be alive. Gas was 25 cents. Cars were noisy and they all looked good, and there were no pedestrian crash standards or MPG requirements, so everyone could kind of design whatever they wanted to design.
Yeah, I remember that. I
It was
like
pretty
that.
free. Yeah, totally. Like the jet age stuff and in the 50s, like everything was just, what can you put on a piece of paper that we think looks cool?
I was just going to say, it was like the war was over and people were dreaming again. It was like we had with the big crunch, the World War II. Like, oh, it's been 10 years. We can start.
Yeah, what happened with that? I don't.
With World War II?
Yeah.
You mean, did it ever play out?
Right. Like, what was that about?
I seriously, I was like, do we have to unpack all of this?
I saw a couple of movie trailers and I really don't know what's going on to piece together.
It's like I saw Saving Private Ryan and I just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, where did Ryan go? Why was he lost?
Why was he even out there? Oh, look at that Instagram. Look at all those people. I'm virtually waving at all you. Hi, One Vintage, Sam Trust, Paul Photo, Porsche G, Stepdad Zach.
Stepdad Zach?
Yeah, who's that?
I don't know.
Stepdad Zach.
I actually don't know who that is. That's
Oh,
weird.
that's funny.
You're not my stepdad. You're my real dad, goddammit. I don't know. So what's great about muscle cars is that you can fix anything on them with like 2 wrenches. They're really simple.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my exposure to working on cars.
Also, they kind of ran or they didn't run.
That's true.
It was not, you know what I mean? It was like you could either it's on or off. There was no
there's no check engine light that says,
No,
hey, get this fixed
right,
in a
and
bit if you have time.
you could tune things kind of a bit, but
No, they just
Will
every
it
time
fire?
I went
Does
out to
it
the
run?
car. That was every day. That was every day going to school was like, man, I hope this thing starts. And it usually did. But you've never been so attentive. I feel like it's the same thing as if you are in a submarine, like in the Navy, and you hear like a creak, and you're like, what's that sound?
yeah.
Like the first probably 3,800 days you're in a submarine, you're worried. Driving an old car, you're like, what's that sound? What's that sound? What's that sound after that bump? Is the engine pitch changing? I haven't changed my foot position at all. Is that a tick? Is that valves or is that a rod bearing going? Narrator, it was a rod bearing, which I did spin at the end of my Pontiac's life because I was driving one day, monitoring all the gauges as you do, like a pilot, and suddenly oil pressure goes to 0. And I called a mechanic friend of mine. And I was like, why did it do that? And he goes, no, you spun a rod bearing, so you're going to have to change that. So I had to learn to rebuild that engine right before I went to college to sell the car.
Did you do it yourself?
I did.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
It's amazing it stayed together.
Well, first time, sure.
Let me tell you. I'll make this very short. There was internet, but the internet wasn't really used for anything back then, and there was no like Google DIY stuff. So I couldn't find the specs for the center caps on Pontiac engines, but I had a Ford book and a Chevy book, and the difference between those for their torque specs was 50 foot-pounds. So Ford was like, you do 20 foot-pounds, and Chevy was like 80. So I just divided. Took the average and just did that.
Holy crap. Well, I actually agree with that logic. I feel like I've
man,
done something similar.
One of these people is right, and I'm just going to go down the middle. And the engine worked. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, GTO, and that was before college, you said?
Yeah.
So where did it go from there? I mean, you were probably into cars, but you weren't collecting cars in college, I'm guessing.
No. I sold that. I didn't have a car for a while, and then I bought a 97 Jetta because...
Transpo car or car to build? Are you Jesse from Fast and the Furious?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
I had friends that were in the
You
VW
even kind of,
community,
oh my gosh, I could
and-
totally see that. When you were younger, I
Dude,
bet.
my dad gets out of prison. We're gonna race together.
Oh my God. It's probably, you probably don't even like
This thing
how
will
good.
decimate all if you put like 10 grand into it in overnight parts in Japan. I have to watch that movie. I used to do better version than that, but
It doesn't get much better without being that guy. We just put it on the other day. Nice job.
Jesse, he was just like, I have ADHD, except if I build Supras.
Focus.
Yeah, like my friends who were all in the muscle cars, they kind of saw the light first, and they're like, hey, these cars turn and stop. And then they went and bought Jettas and put suspension on them, and I was like, what's this whole turning and stopping thing you're talking about? So that's how I
must
I
know
just went
more.
to that crowd. And I definitely had like ideas for it because I was in the reading the magazines. I'm really glad I didn't spend any money on that car because like that car hasn't aged well. There's no lines. There's 2 lines on a 97 Jetta. Like one like is this and one is this. Like it's very straight and kind of.
And then you had that awkward trunk.
Awkward trunk. I like the engine. I drove it a lot. It worked really well. I learned to drive in the snow in it and stuff. But like it was not a mod project at all.
I'm trying to think. 97, was that the first year of the? That's not the first year of the round one.
No.
That was still the old.
round one. I think it was 2000. Yeah,
Okay.
it was still like flat headlights.
Yeah.
You know, it was a little bit rounder than the previous generations, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was when they had like the Wolfsburg edition. You might have seen those ads a lot.
I'm
They're
trying-
like,
it-
we'll sell you a car with a bike on top.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, it was the Trek package.
Trek
wasn't it?
package,
Yeah,
right,
of
yeah.
course I remembered that. Yeah, it came with a bike rack and the bike.
Yeah, which probably cost them $12, but they were like, hey,
Totally. And then you get the little Trek stickers.
when this
too.
breaks down in 80,000 miles, you can use this bike
Just
to get
ride the
home.
bike.
Right.
Thank Volkswagen.
Yeah, exactly. Do your door locks not work because it's a vacuum system and it's made of tubes? Too bad. Ride the bike.
It was pneumatic?
Yeah, the door locks in
Like
that
a
are vacuum. Yes. So if you have like a, if you get a hole in one of the tubes.
1997?
Oh man, they were like, we're in the space age right now. It was
Oh,
a terrible
God.
idea. So my car got. My
The banks
battery
got
died
rid of that in
once.
the 80s with a thump.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, me
Good
too.
for that. Terrible for locks. This is why electricity exists, which had existed before 1997, by the way, and was perfectly fine for door locks. But Volkswagen was like, no, why don't we try this? This is pretty cool. Terrible.
I have to tell you this. This is where this is where Mom has a little too much access. Just started watching tonight's show. Love the Siskel and Ebert reference. Coca-Cola and La Battea. Like, this is my mother. She's watching the show live. She knows I'm here live. So, hello, Phyllis. Love from Mrs.
Hello,
Ryan
Mrs.
and
Ryan.
fake Zack Klapman.
I keep forgetting which camera we're on.
It's wherever the red light is, buddy. Don't you have that? Don't you have that where you are?
I do, but
But you're always behind them.
yeah. So I don't really see them.
Do you want to run the iPad?
No.
No.
This is the day off of that.
No interest in that whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely not.
We're skipping all around, but how is the new studio? Like, the shows I've been watching are great. You seem like you're trying stuff out and making it yours.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Like you did a tremendous job. For people that don't know, I mean,
No,
you set
stop,
up
stop,
well.
stop.
You
Please.
set up well. Pay me later.
More.
Yeah, exactly. No, man, it's an amazing thing. It's a huge step from where we were, and it's really seamless. Sounds good, looks good, all that stuff.
How are you guys enjoying it, though? Do you find that the product is better?
Oh,
Like,
Jesus, yes. I mean,
but I mean, do people respond that way as such? Like, here's the deal: you spent a lot of money, time, and effort to make that facility.
Mm-hmm.
Do the clips? Is it any different than the red room with the loud table and everything?
100%. Yeah, I mean, it looks far more professional. I think before we did video because we had to, but it always looked terrible. It was like every time you looked at it, you're like, I'm sorry, internet.
But you had to make it possible for those
just-
people.
People watch stuff on YouTube, and a lot of our audience is on YouTube, and we figured they would come over from the main channel.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make a product, and it was helpful, pulling up visual assets of what we're talking about so that people don't have to constantly Google along with us.
You're really good at that.
So
part.
I had a fan, he told me, he's like, hey, I really appreciate when you guys started doing that because I used to sit there and Google the cars you were talking about.
Live.
And now, yeah.
And now you're doing it.
And now I'm doing it, so.
You're so good at it though, that you can stay in the conversation with Matt and a guest, or sometimes the guest isn't even there, and you got I know how
Yeah.
you're set up. You got one in each ear, and you're able to stay with the conversation, cut the cameras, and have a funny quip to say. That's something.
Sometimes.
I think that's above my abilities. And
No,
skill
you're
level.
moving the things around and talking. But it's a hard thing to juggle because we can't actually multitask as humans. So you're kind of like attention here. You listen for a second, then you pull up the thing, and then you go back to listening. And
You
move
portion
the
it out.
camera.
Yeah,
you have to
75% over here, 25 here. It's
Right.
like the activity monitor on your Mac.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that. Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Are you just equipped to like be one of those humans? Like, are you good for the 21st century? I'm still old. I'm DOS over here. I'm not made for the 21st century.
I mean, yeah, right. Look at this place. There's so many computers going on in this thing. Look at this thing you've built. It's amazing. Should we just suck each other's dicks like in the other
want
room?
to?
Or, yeah,
You don't mind
sure,
it.
why not? I think it's really hard. It's a really hard thing to do. I think making content these days is very challenging. The simpler you can make it, if someone out there wants to branch into something, make it simple to begin with. And hopefully that works for you for a long time until you can have like a team or an assistant or something. Because
That's smart.
It's a really challenging thing to do. Like you said, like interviewing while running a board, you simplified it. You got the keyboard, that moves the cameras around. So now you don't have to tap
This
the
made
iPad.
it so easy because then I can stay here and I can feel the
Right.
tangible buttons.
And you know what camera you want because
This
you know
was
the system.
Jeff Swart's idea. Thank you, Jeff Swart.
That guy he lives life correctly.
He told me one of the first time he was ever here, he was like, have you ever thought about, like, there wasn't a way to do it then. He was like, have like a pedal switch or something. You could do it. If we were doing solid state buttons, I could have rigged something like that up. You can't do that with an iPad. But once they made the Bluetooth possible, I was like, Jeff Swartz in the back of my head. He knows a way to make this better.
And then you texted me and you're like, guess what? I was like, thank God. Because otherwise you're just like looking at.
Well, but it's got to be the same way for you. Once we added the hard buttons, like you could keep your eyes up a little more,
it's
right?
Way quicker, which is an interesting segue to touchscreens in cars. What do you think about them?
I have a hard time with this. I have a hard time with screens in cars, neurologically speaking. So I don't like it. But I think that a touch screen might be easier than the iDrive I was used to. It was fine when it didn't do much, but the moment it needed to do a lot of stuff, it was like, I need more than a mouse.
I think we're just learning that you need more than one control to control multiple systems, right? Like this is a keyboard that controls, it's got 9 buttons on it. And I think they're trying to put everything, if they try to put everything in the hockey puck or they try to put everything on the screen, like I think in 10 years they're going to do a bunch of studies. They're going to find out that touchscreens are causing accidents and pulling people's attention away because you're watching and you go over a bump and you have to target your finger on the thing.
Remember that 75/20 activity monitor?
Yeah, no, it's exactly like that.
You're diverting your driving attention to go figure out the HVAC.
Exactly.
Like, in my opinion, that shouldn't be there. The electronics, fine. I need some solid state stuff.
Yeah, some people do a good job. We just had the 2021 Toyota Corolla. Not an exciting car, people will say, but it's a really, really good car. Like, it's a really good car.
It's Toyota's people's car, right?
It is. It's the most sold car in the world ever, more than the Beetle, which is a stat I did not know until I started researching that thing. But they have a mix of touchscreen and hard buttons. That's what you need. Just give people the option, I think. When they just go only touch or only hockey puck, then you're demanding someone's attention. That you're demanding that they have to learn like a new skill, like this thing. We're not in a moving vehicle. You're just sitting here at a desk. But just trying to have a conversation while finding a camera on an iPad and tap your finger on it, that's challenging. So now add 80 miles per hour.
Yeah, and this is all set up, and I already know like what's going on. Imagine trying to find something you don't know, or you're not familiar with a rental car.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all interesting. I don't know how the ones and zeros world works with the cars. I know that we've had cars have been computers for basically my whole lifetime, as far as new cars. They're operationally speaking.
Right.
But when it comes to the user interface, I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I mean, I genuinely don't like it. It screws with me. And I think neurologically speaking, we're going to come into more studies where it's not even the touchscreen. It's literally just having the screens in your face, shifting focus from here to there. I had the last new car we ever had was the M4, the BMW M4. And it had gas. You want to refresh? And it had the.
Let me tell you something about it.
It had the heads-up display thing. I thought it was the coolest thing in the beginning. I moved it all around, got all the set. You could customize it to make all the information you want up there. Eventually, I turned it off.
Really?
Turned it off because I was like, this is not helping me be a better driver. It wasn't. I mean, maybe it would help someone be a better driver, but for my brain, it was getting in the way, and it was taking 75/25. It was or whatever the percentage. It was taking away from my 100% that used to see what we were operating, and then your butt.
Was it taking your attention? Because I've only had heads-up display in cars for press cars, so it's very short. So I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
If you're driving around town, I don't think anybody would notice. But when you're driving like a car like that at the crest, say, or whatever. Imagine being in a turn and your friend's behind you and you look in the mirror to see your friend's car and then try to find your line again on the road. Like, good luck with that.
Right.
You're going to go off the road. I mean, if you're actually going at a cliff.
Because the shiny bright thing is probably going to grab your eye first, right?
Just in general, yeah, you took. No, I'm saying, I'm actually trying to make an analogy. It's the same, trying to look at your heads up and wherever you're going. The focal points are so different.
Yeah.
And
gotcha.
And neurologically, they're different things. One's real life and one's ones and zeros.
Right.
I mean that literally. It's like a digital readout that's being sent at a different frame rate than the real life you're taking in.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of heady, but
no, it's okay.
I've thought about it a lot because I genuinely had to get rid of this car because neurologically I couldn't take it.
Wow.
And that's when we got the old car, and we've been doing that ever since.
Wow. Interesting.
Obviously, I'm a little more sensitive probably than most, but I'm not the only person who would have an issue here.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know what's the. Is cost savings the only reason that they're doing it? It's
they're
not
doing heads-up displays.
no. All of the digital display, all of this stuff, everything's goddamn a digital display and a touchscreen display.
that's
What's
a
the
good question.
reason for
I
it,
don't-
other than like the movie said it should be this way?
I think a lot of it is that. I think
Then
if
we
you don't make a new thing, people won't buy the new thing. So there's, if you're a Samsung and you build screens, like I'm sure there's a presentation every year where you go, here's our new products, right?
Yep.
And for an automaker, they go, okay, well now, like Audi's View is really cool. They do a really good job. That whole gauge cluster can do anything you want. So now I will say that if your nav is off to your right, or if the nav is right down below, your field of view out the windshield, it is easier to just look down at the map and then look back up. Like that is better than looking over here. So I think part of it is they get presented with these new products and they go, okay, well now we can be more creative with this space. We can give people more functionality, which then gives us an easier sell to encourage people to buy a new car.
See, that's what I think. The answer is marketing.
Yeah. I think 100%. I think a lot of why do you think cars need 5 more horsepower this year than last year, or 50 more horsepower? Like you need to make the new thing different than the old thing, or people aren't going to turn in their car.
And I guess this has been going on our whole life, but I
Totally.
have an issue with like, oh, let's make this product, but we'll retard it this year. That's right, I'm saying retard in this manner, and I feel comfortable with it. We'll detune, I think, is more comfortable these days. Detune it to X amount of horsepower.
Hey, white man says word and thinks he's right about it. Okay.
Solely so that we could add 5 more next year and the year after.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that.
I think you're totally right. I mean, especially with turbocharging now. It's so easy to add power and get power out of a turbocharged car versus an NA car. So it's easier to sell one that is making less power than it could, because then the next year you could turn the wick up a bit. I will say that a lot of companies,
I like that.
like Porsche, for example, when their new turbo came out, like they did change the turbos. They took the variable vane technology from the previous S and they put it in the regular one. So like they're giving you better hardware, but
when all the cars became turbo, the turbo still became special. Is that what you're saying?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
but then
agreed.
even like the newest generation of turbo was special compared to the previous generation of turbo.
I
think
see.
it's like year over year. You can watch out for those little incremental improvements. When there's a generational change, it probably has new hardware.
Agreed.
So you just have to pay attention.
I agree with that. Generationally, you have a BMW M3. I watched
do.
your video, by the way. I love with the tire, the Redsteiner.
Vredestein sponsored our show for a little bit, and they sent over a set of tires, which is very nice.
And I watched that video, and you guys were cooking that thing. I mean, you were humming along in all-season tires.
Yeah.
Good?
No, it doesn't make sense. Like the tires are 500 tread wear. They're Hypertrack Sports, and you think 500 tread wear, and like, yeah, disclosure, they did sponsor the podcast and stuff, but I am genuinely surprised at how much grip they had at the speeds we were going, because we were having fun. We were driving slow. And to highlight the point, yesterday Matt and I went and filmed the Corolla XSC, which had 280 treadwear tires on it, and they started squealing so early in the corner at such low speeds. We're like, how does this have nearly, it's 50% the wear rating
and yours
of the
are
other ones?
500?
500.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
it's just totally different grip level. So
beyond that, too, you had a squared setup that you were running previously, and then you went back to the factory staggered, so 235 up front or 225?
225 up front, 255 rear.
So you went from 255s up front
Yeah.
to 225s.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is.
To still maintain grip.
Yeah, I was surprised, because I was running PS4 square before. A lot of front grip. It made the steering heavier. It made it a little bit more talkative in the front, which
I
was
kind of like
nice.
that personally.
I do too. Honestly, I would have stuck with square, except I sent Matt the wrong specs when he.
Oh, that's so funny. You
Because
just
I'm
sent
a
him the
moron.
stock spec.
He's like, "Hey, are these the measurements for the E46?" I was like, my brain was like, "Yes, that is what they came with."
That is correct.
And I didn't go, "Yes, except." So when they arrived, went back to the stock setup.
They all fit on the same rims, though, right?
No, but I have 2 sets of rims because I have a set of
okay.
drift rims. So I just went.
So you literally put 4.
I had 4 rear tires, or sorry, 4 rear wheels
Right.
on the car with 255 square.
I feel like I saw somebody running something. Maybe they just straight. Maybe it's something different in the middle. You got the 18s on yours, right?
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah,
I
do
love.
too.
I like the way they look, but I have 5 friends that have E46 M3s. All of them have 19s. And 3 of them have cracked rims or popped a tire just from hitting a pothole.
The front,
they're worse.
Paul Kennel and I talk. Auto Kramer. Paul Kennel and I talk about this all the time. The front wheels on that, if you got the optioned 19-inch wheels, the rubber was the same size as the 18-inch wheel, so it had this kind of stretched thing.
No
so the
kidding.
rim was sticking out further than the tire
kidding.
at the BMW delership when they were brand new and you were looking at them.
Wow.
So like my buddy and I,
So your
test drove
footprint's not
those all the
actually
time.
bigger.
No, it wasn't then. Wow. I mean, I think the rear it ends up being, but whatever it was in the front, it was like it just looked so
They
wonky.
stretch the tires.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was like kind of a bummer because
That's not good.
no, because the rest of the wheel looks good and it looks good on the car.
I mean, even if you get, my friends that have these 19s, like they have the tires that fit the wheel appropriately, but they're just, especially in LA, you have so little sidewall. Like you need as much as you can. One for comfort, for quiet, all those things. Modern tire technology, the sidewall is stiff enough that it can support like racing force, and cornering force. Like a lot of race cars still run 18s
Right.
because that's the way the cars are set up right. And
then it's more stable on the road.
it's more stable on the road.
Significantly.
I always used to think that the bigger wheels were just dumb and they were all aesthetic. And then I think we were talking to Rob Holland about this. No, that's incorrect. It was an engineer who was talking on Shift Talkers on Motor Trend Show. And he's like, look, the cars are getting heavier. They're putting more tech in them. So you need more mass. You need more tire. Like you need to fit larger brakes in there. The only way to do that is to have bigger wheels.
Right.
So we're kind of in this spiral where if we want more things in the cars, they're going to be heavier, and then we need bigger brakes, and then we need bigger wheels, which means thinner sidewall, which means a less comfortable ride.
The wheels,
Circle of hell.
the wheels and brake package on that Taycan Turbo, holy snot!
Huge.
I don't know what the actual measurement is, but I mean, it looks like 2 feet.
Yeah, man.
They look like 2 feet.
There are brakes out there for sale right now that are bigger than the wheels and tires on my Miata when I had a Miata. Because I was like 14s with a lot of sidewall, and there are brake discs that are bigger than that now.
That's
It's
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I think 16 inches was the biggest like production wheel made.
That's crazy.
Like when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
I was like, remember seeing the 17s and then the 18s, and like, oh, a little lip of rubber on the edge. Like,
Right.
Wow.
And then
Because
and then
wheel
the
wells were so
20s.
much smaller, and then nowadays
Yeah.
the wheel wells got bigger and bigger and bigger. Look at an American car now. The wheels are 22 inches, and then there's so much gap
And there's
because
so
the
much
wheel well.
dead cat space. I know.
Dead cat space. Is that what
Yeah,
you call
That's what
it?
they call it. I think Danielle taught me that. Dead cat space. But yeah.
I
it's
love
just-
that.
Back
what
in
do you
my day, wheels were 14 inches, and we were happy about it. We didn't have no screens. We didn't have no Bluetooth. We had teeth, barely.
All right. Let's take a quick. I'm going to call it a break, but I'm going to play an East Coast feed video so that when we come back, we'll do the Instagram questions from the folks.
Cool.
All right. Real quick, check in with Danbury Chive, East Coast feed. I think I checked in before. I said, Mrs. Ryan, do you have I'm telling you, Mrs. Back to the studio. Here we go. I was texting with him earlier. I said, hey, just making sure there's no feeds or whatever. And he's like, nope, all good, brother. And I said, okay, fine, sure. 5 minutes later, he's like, we just did one for you. It's up now. So haven't seen it. East Coast feed, Danbury Chive. I believe we're at the house. Probably just sending us some love. Roll it out.
Uncle Jay, East Coast feed. Jonesy, tell me.
East Coast feed.
Woo! That's how we do. We're all home cooking food. What do we have tonight, Jones?
We have mashed potatoes, pork chops, and munchie cheese.
And munchie cheese. Who doesn't love munchie cheese? Brooke, how you feel about that?
I don't like munchie cheese.
She's not a fan. Whatever. But we love you, Mr. Ryan and Mrs. Ryan. Say bye to Jay and Nicole.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Nobody else would know this, but Munchie Cheese, he gets that from the Ragtime Deli in Queens.
Oh.
I don't know what it is either, but it's different. And
Pretty
I've
sure
never- I've
probably
never-
got marijuana in it, judging by the name. Actually, no, you probably buy it after you take part in Cruz's. No, they're CBD products. Never
It
mind.
tastes like an American cheese to me. I can't tell what it's like. Maybe American and Monterey Jack. I don't. It's
But it
a
has
real
cold cereal
cheese.
injected in it or something, like really crunchy.
It's not actually like Munchies, but it may be spelled Munchie. It might be.
I'm just going with it's munchie cheese for people who have the munchies. And I'm doubling down on it, and I'm going to keep it going.
All right.
That's how it's going to be.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, man, do you have pretzels and cheese? Like, can you put them in a cup and, like, microwave it?
But it's called that.
Yeah.
It's not like that's their little name for the little girl. Like, oh, we call it Munchie Cheese. Like, it's actually that.
That
from
kid
the,
is a stoner. I can tell. I can tell.
How is the Tradecraft
Tradecraft
Farms sponsorship working out with you guys? The Smoking Tire has a
Yeah,
weed
we
sponsorship.
do. So do you. Well,
We
you
do.
have a CBD sponsor.
No,
which
we
is
do.
great.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it a weird world?
Yeah, I didn't
Isn't
feel
it
comfortable
weird?
talking about it at first, and now it's like I've got to do ad reads for
for CBD stuff.
Marijuana and
which
CBD.
is very nice. Yeah, I like that stuff. I mean, I think it's working out great. I don't really imbibe in marijuana that often.
That's what I thought.
I'm not
When we originally talked, it's not your thing.
Like edibles now and then, usually with like some yoga or something. It feels really good. But
Yogurt?
Yoga. And then yogurt.
Oh, stretch it out.
Yeah. It like makes you very aware of like, oh, these are all the problems in my body.
That's
So,
true. The
yeah.
edibles do especially.
Exactly.
Why is that? Why does it make you so self-aware?
I don't know.
More than like...
I don't know. I think I know that your body processes it differently.
It metabolizes
Yeah, it
differently.
metabolizes different something in your liver. I don't know the actual words that have lots of like I's and O's and Y's in them for Latin. So that's for a smarter person.
But you have a sponsorship with Tradecraft Farms. I figured you were the guy to ask.
No, Matt's the guy to ask.
Oh, that's
we
a
know
good
that.
point.
Like
That's a
Matt's
good
the guy
point.
to ask. But I mean, I don't know. Sponsorship's great. They give us product that he enjoys, and they give us money, and that's pretty great.
That was going to be
great.
my question. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That you can do both, because a lot of you guys, I'm sure, were the same way. Did people approach you for a long time, like wanting to be your weed sponsor or whatever, but they only wanted to pay you in weed?
We had a lot of that. Yeah, we had a bit of that. I
Yeah.
think it wasn't. I think it's still kind of a new industry, like the marketing of it. Like we're seeing
Figuring
CBD
it out.
sponsorships everywhere, right? Like I remember a couple months ago, every extreme athlete I follow, like Ken Block, Bucky Lasek, Tony Hawk, all of them were sponsored by a CBD company.
Really?
All of them had it all over Instagram. They're like, I'm using this now. I'm using this here. I'm, Tanner Hall skiers, like all this stuff.
How long ago?
A couple months.
Shit,
Like
okay.
really recently.
Okay.
And so I think that was the start because, I mean, if you look at Ken Block's race car, it has CBD livery all over it, like his rallycross car. Yeah. So
you here, you could look it up.
let me jump in and do another driver. I'm going to break something over here. So I think, but that gets the foot in the door, and now you go, well, why is this different than a beer sponsor? Why is it different than Smirnoff or anything else? It's really not.
That's what
it's
I
just
mean. It's not.
it's not in the states it's legal in. It maybe is for other states, but that's probably going to change soon.
But CBD is legal across the...
Yeah, it is.
So, but it's only the cannabis
Right.
or whatever.
THC,
THC
yeah.
cannabis,
Exactly.
right? And then there's a new one, CBN. Yeah, CBN. That's
Right.
supposed to be like really good for your...
That'll put you to sleep. I bought an edible with it. I was like, what's this? And I Googled it, and they're like, this does what indica does, but more so. Like, it works on the inflammation, like CBD does.
That's what I had
But
heard. I was
it,
thinking
like-
for her and her body.
If, be ready to take a nap. Like, that's been my
I
experience.
worried the opposite, so I'll probably be up for this. But that sounds great.
Yeah, it's there's not a lot of it. It's one of those new, there's so many cannabinoids that they have to study. So it's a new one, and they have only have a little research, and the research that I've found was like, okay, it helps inflammation, which is great. It helps you relax. It helps you sleep. And then one of the scientific papers was like described as couch lock. Like just the fact that couch lock was used in this research thing that was like,
What the hell is couch lock?
That's what people used to say. Like if they smoke the wrong kind of weed, they just get locked to the couch. They don't want to.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
The first couple times I ever tried it, I probably got that.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just like, don't talk. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. So
Correct.
that's what my experience with CBN is like. I just at nighttime if I can't sleep.
Phyllis, you are so darn funny. Thanks, Mom.
I'm
sorry,
like
my
picturing
mom
mom.
is-
She'd be like, "Stop with the marijuana talk." She doesn't sound like that.
No, we
Why do you have
just
to
sent
say
a
the
nice
F
little
word
care
so
package
much?
from Cruz into Wellness down to Florida
nice.
for Mom. I don't know if she knows about
Awesome.
it yet. Check your mail. Check the mail, Mom. Sorry, she keeps crashing your thing here. Let us take some
care.
questions, shall we? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. Whatever you want to do, man. This is awesome.
I want you to be happy and comfortable. I want you to come
I
back.
am both of those
I love
things.
talking to you. When we were building the studio, when we were building the studio, literally, you helped me build the studio a
I
couple
did.
of days.
I mean, I like held a hammer while you did most of the work.
you put up that curtain.
I put up a curtain. That's no big deal. Oh man! I tell you what, I put up a hell of a curtain.
It was during that time that I remember coming home to her and being like, I like them more than I thought I would. Them, you guys. And I really enjoyed having, like, we got into,
Yeah, we were
we
nerding
talking
out on
comedy
comedy and
stuff,
stuff,
and
right.
her and her old life and everything, our old life with you. So I guess I just like you a lot, and I'm sorry if that's weird. That's the truth.
Jay, that's what friendship is. Okay, that's what friendship is, and it's okay. It's okay to have friends.
Sounds good.
Lay down
I like
on the couch. We can talk about why this is a problem for you to accept.
I'll get couch locked.
You get couch.
New tires, new battery. The M3 has a new life. That's from Kirkoli.
Yeah, I put a lithium-ion battery in it, which weighs 40 pounds less than the stock battery, which is a crazy amount. Yeah.
40 pounds?
I know.
Usually it's like 12 or 15
Right.
pounds.
Yeah, no, it's 40, which is a
That's
huge
a
deal.
massive difference.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. So I saw this, going around Instagram. I was like, oh, okay, new battery. Like, what are the weight savings? And then Alex Bernstein, photographer, he's like, it saved me 40 pounds. It's like, oh.
I'm trying to remember where mine was in your car. Is it in the trunk?
It's in the trunk.
Yeah,
It's on the right side in the trunk.
Yeah, in the trunk. Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Because if the driver weighs 50 pounds, then the battery weighs 50 pounds, and now it just
that's right. It balances out.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's right.
weird assumption. I just think that's so funny. The car is heavy, and it's got like this stereo and this 6-disc changer, and they're just like, let's put the battery here, which every bit helps. But man, I don't know.
I'm trying to
It's
think
like
where it was in
lighting
my
a match in a
E30. I
rainstorm.
feel like it was under the... Couldn't have been under the seat. It must have been in the trunk. It was in the trunk also. Have you ever had any other BMWs, like older than your M3?
No. My brother had an E30 that he crashed into a lot of people.
Such a good car.
Which is such, yeah, he had a 320 IS too. It was a good one.
Such a great
It
car.
drove great. I miss it, but he just treated it like shit.
The 911 enthusiast says, "Hola." This is for me, probably. Sorry. Still on for tomorrow morning, I assume. Yes,
Hola,
still
Coco and
on for
Bocelli.
tomorrow. GVBC. See you tomorrow. Jeff Skaza, $50,000, high mileage 991.1 or GT350. And I'm going to go to the wide shot, and I'm going to bring this up here.
I was just fucking with Instagram, and I stopped moving to make them think that the,
Oh, you're
the
frozen?
stream froze. What was the question?
Oh, sure. $50,000, high mileage 991.1 or GT350. That's which kind of car do you want?
They're
I mean,
so
that's a weird. Those are
different.
totally different
They're
cars.
so different. I don't know. How long do you want to own it for? I drove a GT350
Ooh, that's
for like
a good
day.
question.
Yeah. If you want to own it for years, I think you go 991. I hate to say it.
911,
It's
yeah.
a more useful car.
It's also just, it's a 911. And, you guys have that conversation all the time. And when it comes down to all the different things, it's like, blah, 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 blah. It comes down to the person. But a 911 will always be a 911.
It's so fucking annoying how good 911s are.
I know.
Like, I get mad about it because 2 years ago, the company I work for did a lot of work for them, and I was like irritated. I was like, everybody's on this bandwagon. These aren't that good. They all look the same, right? I would get mad about how much praise they would get, and then because I was exposed to them a lot, I drove them a lot, and my curmudgeon self had to get like pulled out of this dark pit of just curmudgeonry. I was like, okay, fine, they're really comfortable and you can see a lot, but big deal. It's like, okay, they work a lot. And yes, the PDK works and it won't blow up when you do launch control. It's like, it's really irritating. It's Tom Brady. The 911
Oh,
right
yes!
now is Tom Brady.
Wow.
And there's this weird thing where we hate to see a winner continue winning, but we also have to respect greatness. Like, they're really good at that. The GT350, though, like, I mean, it's a hoon, man. I mean, it's fast, it steers great, it turns in hard, and it is a different solution to a problem where most people are going to go 911. So I think there is something to that, because if you have a silver 911, 991, like, you have a great car, the experience is really good, but especially in this city, like, you are a Camry. The Porsches are everywhere, you see tons of
Everywhere.
them. And it's not, I don't know, it's not like a unique thing. So I guess it's almost like if you're an introvert or an extrovert. If you're an extroverted
I
person,
love this.
you're probably going to want a GT350 because it's noisy and it wakes people up and it has muscle car flavor. Like, it's got way more attitude.
It's more like, what kind of person are you?
Yeah, that's very true.
I love how somebody else said GT350 for the engine, Porsche for everything else.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of true.
Is it just me or the video and audio are out of sync? Oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, guys, 997 prices have surged in the last year. Are we in a bubble or has COVID accelerated their appreciation? I have an opinion. I'd love to hear yours.
You go first.
It's time. It's the 911. It's the 997's time. Next year, they will be a classic within Porsche Classic, like as in that's how they regulate it. If it's been out of service, out of production for out of service, if it's been out of production for 10 years, is when it becomes a classic within the Porsche Classic.
That's it. That's really short. Okay.
Well, but it's actually long if you've got an early one like ours. Like, ours was built in 04, so it's going to be damn near 20 years old by the time it will have been
Okay.
a classic.
That
You know
makes
what I
more
mean?
sense,
So it's
right.
kind of, but their terminology is,
Yeah.
it has to have been out of service for 10
Got
years.
it. Okay.
It's time. It's time, is my opinion. The 996 has. I mean, there are no $5,000 996s anymore that I can find.
That's true.
Maybe a Tiptronic.
Yeah, Tiptronic,
Early year
regular Carrera.
Tiptronic, yeah, with some issues, high mileage with some issues. But 997s are just, in my opinion, it's the most Porsche you can buy for the least money,
Yeah, I agree.
and it has been since, I don't know, the 991 came out. You know what I
true.
mean? They dropped really fast when the 991 hit because like, oh, it's so good looking, it's bigger, it's better, all of the things. If you're a driver, the 997 is the right size. The 991 is too big.
Yeah,
for me personally.
I agree because
And
Byron
the
got a
997
997, right?
Yeah.
And his was at the shop when he came on the show, and just standing next to it, there were no other cars around. I just looked. I was like, "This is so much smaller."
It's the right
than
size.
the new Porsche. Yeah, it's a good car.
So there's all of that thing, and just drive for the money. Oh my gosh, I don't know a better driving car. We stripped ours out, and it's sick because it's we literally took the stuff that most people would want in it, and we made a damn race car out of it without doing anything. We didn't have to change a lot.
I agree with you.
So that's me. What do you think?
I think
No bubble. It's time.
Well, I think COVID accelerated the collector car bubble a little bit because people are stuck at home, and I think there's like this psychological shift that's happening with Bring a Trailer, with Cars and Bids, with all the other auction sites where like you can buy a car with a click of a button. You know, when we were younger, you had to you had to meet a person, you had to call a thing, you had to find an ad. It was kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And now with the internet, people
Make
you
an
have this
appointment.
crowdsourced vetting. Like the crowds on Bring a Trailer, you know, when I was looking at it, were like really good. They would find problems in the photos. And they go, hey, don't buy this car. Like, look at this rust. Look at this different. Like, there's a different sticker on this panel that shouldn't have been there. That means they changed the panel, which means it got hit.
It's like assessment by committee.
It is. It's assessment. So that's great. But I think that makes people feel comfortable. We've gotten comfortable buying really expensive things on the internet. So that has pushed all the prices up a little bit. You know, when COVID started, stock market fell apart, everything like slowed down, and the car market stayed fine. And everything bounced, of course, but like the car market really stayed okay because a lot of people that are in that collector market world were able to afford the things, and they were sitting at home and they were just like, I'll just click the button. So I think that's probably inflated a little bit, but to your point, the 997 is very good. The 1s and 2s are so expensive. The 6s have already risen, and their interiors look bad and you know all that and whatnot. So like, why not get a 997?
Do you have an opinion of 997.1 versus 0.2? I do, although I'm curious.
I don't,
if
because
you-
honestly, I don't know the nuances well enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's your opinion then?
well,
Educate me.
The point, well, if you follow the kind of the Porsches in general, it's sort of like they do the mechanics and the aesthetics separately. So like 1 year you'll get like, how about this? The 997 comes out. It's a new car aesthetically.
Right.
Underneath it's the 996. My 0.1 is a 996. It's the same chassis. Almost all the part numbers are shared. They did a different suspension, different motor. They changed things on it, but they made the same car still. Better interior. All the things are better, but it's still that chassis. When the 0.2 came in, direct injection, different powertrain, a lot of other upgrades,
Right.
technical upgrades.
But it looked the same.
Yeah, but in the old
Gotcha.
car. But it was a 991. It's basically the 991 car.
Interesting. Underneath the 997
They
package.
in my personal opinion, a stock 997.2 drives more like a 991.1 than a 997.1, and I think I said that correctly.
Yeah, no, you did. Okay, yeah, I mean, then I would do
That's just my personal
I do 997.2 because then you have the most advanced mechanical technology that they've developed, but you have it in the aesthetic package you like.
And you don't have that IMS issue and all that stuff.
Right, yeah, and you've prevented that. You've saved yourself from that. Yeah.
Aesthetically speaking, I think the Gen 1 looks better, and I actually like the old motor better. I don't
Really?
like the direct injection, even though it's better.
Even though it's better?
Yeah. Our car still has that, hey, is it going to start? I'm not saying that. It always does and
Hey,
always
man, I
has
feel you. I
every
use
single
BMW.
time.
I get it.
But like when you rev it, you're like, it's still alive.
Right.
And it's not a computer like. I think most
Okay.
people would want the modern experience of everything. But if you have a Gen 1, you can do a lot to it to roughen it up to be more like an older one. Whereas a Gen 2 is kind of like, nope, it's a modern car and nothing you can do about it.
I think for me, those cars are just about driving. They're just about starting up, going, driving, track, road, whatever. So I wouldn't need it to feel older because either way, it's a modern car. You know, I think partly because my bar for old is like a 60s car or a 70s car.
Sure.
So it's not going to feel that old. You know, you might, I don't know if you can change the exhaust a little bit. And you're like, oh, it sounds a little bit gnarlier. It's like, it's never going to get to where a 60s 911 sounds or a 70s 911.
That rawness.
So I would just go, look, it's a track car, it's a road car, and it's not an appliance. It's a tool, and I'm using it for these things. I don't need to try and turn it into a painting.
Nice long gaze, Zach, somebody says.
Screen froze, man. I don't know. Check your internet. Check your internet.
Hey, y'all, used car market is out of control. It's not a bubble. COVID has accelerated speculation. This is other people are answering. 996 is a ticking time bomb. Why do you say that? I don't agree with you.
Is that the IMS thing?
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, yes, certainly it could be an issue, but
it seems like it's not as common as people thought. But if it goes wrong, it is catastrophic. So you can either get a car that had that issue addressed, or you save, you have money in the bank in case it happens.
All of that,
and you hope it doesn't happen. Right?
If you're the type of person where the bad, like just you anticipate bad things happening and they happen, yeah, you're the one who's going to have the IMS problem. We don't have really that, nor do we have that headspace. We're kind of like, it'll just work out. Our IMS is fine. In fact, behind you over there, not that you can see it, but behind there is the actual seal, that round thing right in front of the next to the Porsche crest. Yeah, that's the actual seal from the IMS bearing of our car.
Wait, did you have yours changed out then?
No, because we have the bigger one in it.
Oh, okay.
But Marco pulled the seal so that then Marco from TLG, shout out to TLG, get your car some TLC.
If your IMS goes out, call TLG.
It's true. But if you pull that seal out, then the engine oil can just get in there and it just has a life.
Oh, all right.
It's no longer a sealed bearing within a wet environment. I don't know if you know too much about that. It was
I don't actually know, like,
kind of a hogwash, bad design.
I mean, we knew that because it was having failure rates, but it's like the rod bearing thing in BMWs, or I don't know. So many cars have problems. Just look up, if you want to have a good day and make yourself feel like you bought the right car, even if you bought the wrong car, just look up recall on Autoblog, and every company has a recall every year. And a lot of them have the word fire in them. A lot of recalls are because they have to go, if this went as wrong as it could go, it would light on fire. So therefore we recall it. And it's like sunroof may spark, which may cause fire, and headliner, which may cause fire, therefore recall. Like it's, and it'll say like instances 0, but they look at what could go wrong and they have to recall stuff.
That's ridiculous. Over here on the Instagram, people, everyone just says you're handsome, basically.
I am more than that.
What are your top 3 vintage cars? 3 different time frames: 50s, 60s, 70s. This is from Mark Perbonic. He's asking for a friend. 50s, 60s, 70s.
I think 50s. I go 56 Chevy. I think that was one of my first loves, and it still is. Like
Bel Air?
Bel Air, yeah. I like the taillights on the 56. I like the grille they did.
You like the coupe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
when they're
too.
stand straight,
Me
like
too.
it's so good. It's a little bit of rounded from the Jet age carried over, but it's just, I don't know, just something about it.
Classic.
Yeah, and plus, I saw them when I was 6, and I liked them, and I still do. I think I would do that.
Yeah. There's something about that. The 50s cars are, I guess that's just generational. That's what was at the car shows where I grew up too.
Yeah.
And so I always have also anything custom hot rod. Like I get, like I want to see, what'd you do? What'd you think of? What's your creativity?
That was the fun thing about hot rodding. And I mean, the hot rod customization is so outlandish compared to today. Everyone's like, not everybody, but I think things are a little more measured. You have your extremes, like what's the guy's name? Mike Burrows, like his crazy hot rod, and B is for build. Like they do some crazy stuff. But a lot of people are just like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of camber. I'm going to do these wheels that everybody likes. I'm going to do these things. Like everyone's kind of, playing in the same box. But hot rodding was like, I got flames and I have side pipes and I put the, smokestacks out the roof and like everything's insane.
I'm going to make my steering wheel chain.
Right. I can make it
like a chain steering wheel. And it's only 8 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this big.
People would stretch frames. I mean, because driving dynamics wasn't really in the discussion.
No.
It was just about showing
How does
up,
it look?
looking cool. Yeah, all that stuff.
Does it drive?
Yeah, sure it does. Yeah, whatever. So, and the interiors on the 50s cars too are like, they're jewelry and they're sculpted metal and they're so dangerous if you crash it. But who cares? Like,
things would spear
like
you.
A jewelry box. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you used to hear if the wheel broke off the column, you'd get impaled.
Yeah, and my steering wheel had 2 cracks in it when I was in high school, so it would have broken off and impaled me. But
what I mean?
I bought a new carb instead.
Your hands and the wheel go forward, but the thing doesn't.
Yeah, that would have happened for sure. That'd be my 50s answer. I think 60s.
GTO?
No, I think Stingray Corvette. I mean, how can you argue with that?
Look at you.
How can you argue with
You
that?
like the split window one?
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. That's like one of the best looking cars
it.
ever made. You don't care about okay, what about,
it's not that I have a
Corvette
problem
in
with
general.
it. I don't not like it, but I don't get it like everyone else does.
the Stingray or the split window?
All of the above.
Okay.
I'm not against the Corvette. Phyllis's significant other, Dave, drives a Corvette. My mother.
That's why you don't like the Corvette. See, I think we're getting to the roots.
If you want to be honest,
Mr. Ryan,
I don't like the new Corvette at all because it shouldn't be a Corvette, is my opinion. the C8. It should be a different car made by Chevy, is my personal opinion.
Yeah, the branding topic is hard with like Mustang Mach-E or Corvette. I mean,
they're still making the Mustang. Like, I'm okay with the Mach-E. I'm okay with that one. I don't know why, because I think that's the future.
I agree. I think they could have. I think they would have done just as well if they called it like the Lightning or something. I mean, because it's a really good car. Like we drove one last week. It is a phenomenal automobile, especially first crack out the gate for an EV for them like that. It's really good.
I don't watch all of your guys' videos,
That's
but
fine.
that one I watched, and it was the best car review I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, because you know how it is. This
Did my
show
mom
will
pay to
probably
say
be
this?
no. This show will probably be good because I pulled my hair out trying to get it going in the beginning. Everything you guys went through that morning with everything, so that when you finally did get out there, I can't explain it.
Yeah,
There's
we had a lot of
tension.
material.
There's a weird
Yeah.
thing, and it makes it very captivating to watch.
I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, we spent 2 hours trying to charge that car. We did.
With a lot of issues.
We did, and it was we weren't using the map right. People responded. They're like, you guys should use this. Download this app, Plug Save or whatever, and like that will help you find the one that fits your car. Like, okay, that's true. If you own the car, you would know that, but we didn't know that. So this is our real world experience. And Google took us to this charging and this charging and this charging, and none of them worked until we got to like the third one. A 60s, I go C2 Corvette. 70s, I think I'd go Datsun 510 because the third gen Corvette is so cool looking, but I don't want to have two Corvettes, so I'm going to go Datsun 510.
So you're a Corvette guy.
I'm not a Corvette guy. I just think those two generations were gorgeous. And then after that, things kind of fell apart all the way until the C6.
So the 70, we're going to say Stingray, like the Dirk Diggler? Is
Yeah,
that the one we're talking
because
about?
that car looks like something you would have drawn when you were 6.
The Ferrari Roma?
Yeah.
Oh, see what I did there? There's a lot of Ferrari Roma, a lot of that Stingray generation in the Ferrari Roma.
Double hoop. Wow.
Also the taillights. I had this conversation with Hannah Elliott the other day, and she was like, I didn't see that. I called it, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. I call it revenge styling.
I heard it was a good episode. I listened to it.
Oh, thanks.
That styling idea it was interesting. Was it just OEMs fighting back and forth over a certain aesthetic?
When I first noticed it, we had the M4, and I went to the auto show, and the new Mustang came out, and it was the same, but for like less than half the price. In fact, maybe a third of the price, and it arguably better looking actually.
Yes.
And then chase it to 5 years later, whatever. The new M4 is out, and it's different. There's a lot of the wrong stuff from the Mustang in it. I think the new M4 is a lot more Mustang and not the great stuff.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's getting harder for them to design unique cars because they have such strict miles, like MPG standards, and aerodynamic standards,
and the design box.
Exactly, the design box is getting smaller. So that I think we all have to admit or agree. Like, look, designers have a really, really hard job, and then you have the accountants, and then you have engineers, and you have hard points. You have all those things that make it really.
That's
really
it.
challenging.
Hard points. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but it is funny when you see like the new M3 M4 grille. It's gigantic. I think it's ridiculous.
What are they doing?
Right? What are they doing?
No, what are they doing? Do you have an opinion? What are they doing? Because I have been a fan of that mark forever, and I have only ever driven that 3 Series coupe. Like, that was my car for years and years and years and years.
I don't know. And some people said, like, all right, well, that connects back to what was it? The B18, BMW. I'm gonna get it wrong. It's like 1800, like their early swoopy car.
It does. And I even agree. I had this with Hannah too. The old race car, it even kind of does, which is what everyone says, like Auto Union, look at Audi and all that. It's not enough.
And that car's not good looking.
No,
the right. Race car is not good looking.
It's not like they're doing what was the famous BMW, the 509 or whatever the heck the gorgeous coupe was. It's the wrong
Just
number,
because it's old doesn't mean it was good. And I think that's the problem with that car. They're like, but it looks like this thing. Like, but that thing looks terrible. Like
the surfacing is awful.
The proportions are super wrong. It's like this giant grille, like a 33 Ford with the shovel nose, like looks kind of cool because it has the right angle to it, but also there's a proportion, like the width versus the height. The BMW is like this super narrow but gigantic grille, and now the new one, they say it's for cooling, but plenty of other cars are staying cool without that problem.
Everything you just said, it used to be such a good looking, just a traditionally good looking car. There were rules to the dimensions. There were rules to, this looks so good unanimously because of these things. They got rid of the Hofmeister kink. I don't even understand.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The gauge layout, the tail, nothing that used to say BMW is on the car anymore. And every time I drive past what I think is a new Audi or a new Benz or whatever, it's got a BMW logo on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know. That's why I really like the Roma, and I know that the design is polarizing for you. You have your words, you have your thoughts.
No. I like it very, very much.
You have pieces.
I like it now that this is coming out because I feel like it's there and nobody noticed it, and now that they're noticing it and we're talking about it. Yeah, it's there and it's undeniable. If you look at the shape of that kind of copperhead, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, if you look at the profile of it, like the front fenders are very pronounced, almost like a little bit of E-type race car, like they almost rise above the hood.
And you're sitting on the rear axle.
Yeah, you're sitting on the rear axle. You're not as much as like an AMG GT. You're sitting a little bit more in the middle, which I prefer with the Roma. The AMG GT, you are like in the trunk or along for the ride, and the AMG GT is a great car, gorgeous car, but I prefer sitting a little bit more forward of that rear axle.
Did you ever drive the SLR, the Gullwing one before the GTR?
No, I remember seeing it. Yeah.
Heavy. Big, heavy, but all the power.
All the hood in the world.
Yeah.
It was like a helicopter pad that you could land on the front, right? It was just like, that was a lot of hood.
Yeah.
That was, it was cool
the
looking. The
SLS might have had more hood, but not by much.
Oh, right.
The McLaren one?
I was getting mixed up. SLS had the giant hood. SLR was...
No. It might not have been as long, but it was wider.
Yeah. I don't know. The SLR, I wasn't really into that design when that came out.
Gullwing was cool for me, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the convertible, which didn't have the Gullwing. And I was like, get rid of it.
Right.
And everyone's like, it's a better car.
Big slats on the side. I don't know. It was just too much nose. It was too much a lot of stuff. And I realized the irony. Go fuck yourself, Instagram.
All right. We have gone way long here. Shout out to the Brian Hobage for building the craziest C2 split window.
Oh, that car, the red one, is amazing.
57 Nomad.
I had to film that in Big Muscle. That was amazing.
Great show, everybody. That's from Jack Wise 97. Thank you, Jack. Tasty, nasty. Drive nasty, whatever. These are big scoring seems to be issue. Bore scoring seems to be the issue on the 997.1. More than IMS. Are the concerns valid? Here's the deal. Every car has stuff. So yeah, I guess it's valid. They say if you get it scoped, you can see if you're going to do a pre-purchase, whatever. Yeah, and if you're going to spend $500, like, make them scope it.
Yeah.
But also they say if you don't want to do that, you can do an oil analysis, which will tell you the same thing.
Blackstone Labs, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Auto Kennel has somebody they use.
Okay.
And you can tell that way, I guess, which makes sense.
That'd be a terrible envelope to open. Like, it's like the worst paternity test. You're just like, let's see. Oh, your engine's bad. You're like, great. Fold.
Awesome.
Like,
why did I even send in that DNA test?
There you go. Yeah.
Harmony now. I'm trying
Thank
to think.
you for having me.
I'm trying to think if we did the stuff we were supposed to. Here's your blue card. Look, I'll bring it out. Did we get to any of the stuff? The drive. We didn't really talk about that.
Organized. I think I'd clean them up a little bit when we're done.
Yeah, should.
Yeah.
The drive. We got to that, right? JF Musial?
Yep. He was my boss. Created the Drive Network.
Loved meeting him the day your back hurt.
Oh, right. He came in for the show, and I was not getting up out of anything.
Did you hear the craziness of the behind the scenes of that whole thing, of how that all came together? I'll tell this last thing before we go. The day before that show, it was a breakfast club. It was a Friday. And we went, and we were at the bottom of 9 Mile, and it was closed off with a cop while they were shooting something. Did you hear the story?
No, I know where it's going.
Yeah. So, and we say, oh, okay, great. So we're waiting for the picture car, waiting for the picture car. Eventually, Gen 1 Boxster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The first one.
And the... yeah, and the picture car comes around the corner, and we're sitting there just waiting to go. So I've got the thing out, Instagram stories, the whole bit, whatever. And we were laughing. We were laughing in the car because of how silly they closed the road for a Gen 1 Boxster. It was like ridiculous. We were expecting the new GT car or like I don't know, something. So that comes and goes. We don't think anything else about it. Sometime later that afternoon, after we're back from Breakfast Club and having posted the video, the driver and photographer from the car said, hey, that was me, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, that's interesting. What were you in? Because it was sort of anticlimactic. We didn't really, And he was like, oh, it was the first Boxster ever sold. Now that set up a flag for me because I know who owns that car, of course, and you do too. But I didn't say anything to him and nor other. But so then I posted the thing. Didn't think anything about it. Went to bed. The next morning, I wake up I was supposed to go work at Adam Ferrara's podcast. And I got a call from Matt Farah to come do your podcast. He was like, hey, Zach's back hurts. Can you come do a thing? We've got a guest in studio. And I was like, I don't think I can. Hang on, let me finagle some things. Yes, I can. At the same time of all of that kerfuffle, I get a rather panicked DM from the guy, hey, that's me, saying, hey, the client, blah, 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 whatever, hey, can you, I'm really sorry to ask this, but can you please take it down? And I was like, I had so much other shit. I was like, it's gone. Don't even worry about it. Didn't think anything else about it. My morning goes, I jump in the shower. This is all hurried now while I change my schedule around and rush down to go do the smoking tire. Matt's telling me, oh, we've got JF Musel on. I don't know who he is. So I look him up, and he says, I said, oh, he follows me. That's cool. And he said, yeah, he's in town shooting something for Porsche. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Now that's weird. Now I wonder if he's shooting the Boxster, because we just saw somebody yesterday or whatever. And he's like, well, you can ask him because he's pulling in now. And it was a white minivan with black wheels. And I was like, hang on, let me look at the video that I posted. And it was a white minivan. It was the picture card.
Same town and country.
I don't know how any of that shit gets put together except by this guy, but we were the ones who accidentally interrupted the shoot and fucking put it up on Instagram and blah, blah. JF had a hell of a morning dealing with Porsche, the client who you know.
He sure did.
All of that stuff. And he's like, oh, I got to rush over and do this. And he called Matt. He was supposed to do the show live. We had to take it. We can't do it live now because of all this hubbub thing, so it's only going to be direct to video. And he pulls into the fucking thing, and it was the day they were washing my car. And so my car's in the wash bay. It literally pulls up into the wash, and he goes, is that your car?
Holy shit.
And then we went and did a podcast.
Holy shit.
What the hell are the chances?
Yeah. He's like, wow, you accidentally, without knowing it, and I'm sure he wasn't mad at you. Just
he
like
wasn't even a little bit.
All of this, yeah.
No, it was amazing. It was fine. And luckily I think we can say it now. It was Seinfeld's car. We can say that now, right? I'm sure we can because
I'll let you say it. I don't know.
It's been out, and we talked to Spike about it that weekend.
Is the video out?
Yeah, they put it out.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God! Now you're making me.
Hey,
it was
man.
months ago now. Anyway, oh God, now you got me scared.
When I quit a job, I quit a job.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, all these people might hire me someday. Anyway, yeah, it was a crazy ass situation.
Yeah, that is 6 degrees of angry Kevin Bacon.
All because of your bad back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have been there having a nice
all
show
would've
with
been
your
fine.
old buddies.
That's amazing. And you never would have gotten to meet JF, and
He was-
your whole day would have ran smooth. It would have been fine.
He was awesome. I actually became a big fan of his from doing the show that day. And I didn't realize that
he's
he
a good
was the
dude.
guy.
Yeah.
So all of that for Drive, we got to that. Hagerty, how are things going with Hagerty?
Awesome. They're making really good stuff, which, I mean, I'm watching other shows on that channel that, I'm not a part of, and I think that really speaks to it. Like, Jason Caviezel's show is awesome. I produced Magnus's show.
You did?
The Next Big Thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I produced
enjoying
that.
the hell out of that
Yeah.
right now.
He's ruining car values for lots of underappreciated stuff. But
I told him
I'm just making fun of him.
I'm sure you're on the message. We get the text whenever the new one comes out or whatever. And each time until the last two have been fine. I don't want a Viper, but like each time I'm like, I was going to get one of those. I was going to get one of those. I was going to get one of those.
But I think what's good about that show is honestly, it makes people, it gives people permission to be excited about whatever car you want to be excited about. It's like, because the Joneses are always there, and everybody's like, E30 is the thing, and then E36 is the thing,
Yeah.
or Porsche, like air cooled, just like what you like, drive it, get it. If it maybe people will appreciate it and it'll go up in value, who cares? But like, life is too short to do that. So just like the thing you like, drive the thing you like. Someone else out there will also appreciate it, and you can talk to them about your Wagoneer or whatever else if you want to. But just get the car that you're into. That's all.
I think that is really, really good advice, period.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, everyone wants to know what you want them to get.
I don't want them to get anything. I want them to go watch Rated. Watch Hagerty, the Hagerty Show Rated. I host 3 of them with Lee Keane, and the premise is a journalist and a race car driver drive the same car, and they rate it under a bunch of criteria. So I'm in 3 episodes with Lee, and it's real fun, and he is very tall and extremely fast at driving.
I saw you
He's
do the
very,
Miata,
very good.
the Corvette.
Did the Miata, the C8 Corvette, and the Ferrari F8 Tributo.
Oh, that's a cool car.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Or can we
Yeah,
say yet? Is it out?
No, it's out. Yeah, it is out. I did like it. I liked it more than I expected to, because when I first saw it, I wasn't like floored by the looks the way I was with the F12 or the F430, and they just drive so good. It's so fast. Like, it is. I think it's as fast as an Enzo. Like, it's expensive. The one we had was almost $400,000, but it's as fast
cheap
as
compared to an
hypercars
Enzo.
that were $1 to $2 million when they were new and cost that much now.
Right.
So like, all relative, it's insane.
That is
it's
nuts.
insane.
How are you liking dealing with the Hagerty people?
They're great.
Same here.
Like, they really are.
Same here. I really enjoyed meeting Larry the other day with you.
Larry Webster, a very nice guy. He
Very,
runs
very cool.
the content over there.
Oh, he
Smart dude.
runs the content?
He's the VP of content at Hagerty.
Should have been nicer to him. Jeez.
Should have been nicer
Holy
to him.
smokes.
He let me drive his 69 911 when we went to the canyons, which is really, really cool.
The blue one.
The blue one, yeah.
That's
Drove
awesome.
Great, yeah.
Speaking of Hagerty, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about St. Clair Insurance. They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. What kind of toys, Zach?
Cars. Talking about
Yeah,
cars?
sure. Cars, boats, ATVs, jet skis. What do you got? What kind of toys?
Oh, wow. All
Car
right.
collection. They write Hagerty policies, and if you are an existing Hagerty customer, you can switch your policy over to St. Clair Insurance with no cost to you. And let me tell you why you might want to do that. Imagine getting into an issue. I don't even want to say a car accident. Imagine your buddy, a car buddy, backs into you at a car show. And you just got a little deal over there. You're still going to have to deal with all of the insurance stuff, all the body work, all of the crap that you don't want to really attend to yourself. Get yourself a rep by going to coverageforyourtoys.com and check out Jeff St. Clair and St. Clair Insurance. Then when your buddy rear ends you at the car show, you just go,
Hey, man, you shouldn't have been there.
just text your buddy Jeff St. Clair, and he goes, that's ridiculous. We're going to talk to your buddy later. But in the meantime, I'm going to get your car fixed. Coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
St. Clair Insurance.
Coverageforyourtoys.com. Insurance.
We love them. They used to sponsor, or they still do, I guess, the rally, like a lot of the Targa Baja and Targa
Oh,
California
cool.
rallies, all those. But a lot of them aren't happening right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're reaping the benefits.
Nice. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
that if you can. And
Yeah.
I don't know. My friends that have Hagerty Insurance genuinely like the service, even before they work there or after. Like,
It's great. And you
So-
join that Hagerty Club, which you guys talked about on your show as well. It's great. It's
yeah,
great.
It's cool. I like what they do with their money.
Zach, is there anything that we didn't get to? Hagerty, Smoking Tire, we talked plenty about. Comedy,
No, listen
you
to the
said.
podcast,
we're
watch the
missing.
show, watch Smoking Tire.
Follow Zack Klapman.
Follow me at fake Zack Klapman on Instagram.
Looks like this.
Where's my Chiron? Chiron sounds like a villain in, I don't know, some sort of superhero movie.
I'm glad you're bringing it up. Do you know why it's called that?
I definitely don't. I wouldn't have said that stupid thing.
It's just like Kleenex. Chiron was the machine that people like me grew up using.
No
It was called
way.
the character generator back then.
Wow.
CG.
Okay.
CG, character generation, before computer generation. So if you said CG in television, it meant go get to the keyboard
Go to
and
the keyboard. Okay.
type in the guest's name.
That makes tons of sense.
Yeah, so Chiron was the business. Just
Okay.
like Clorox or whatever.
It sounds like it's
Kleenex.
fighting Superman now.
Yeah.
Chiron. You again.
And where's everything going for you? You seem to be doing a lot of stuff right now.
Where's everything going? We
Yeah.
don't have time for that. Oh my
Okay.
God, that's a long thread on that kite. my
No, I
friend.
mean, what do you do? You would be a comedian, except there are no mics available. You are a car host. You are a car producer. You are a content creator.
Yep. I don't know where it's gonna go. I really don't.
Where do you want it to go? Like, you're digging it now. What would be the next thing you would dig even more, or as much?
I really like the writing side of things. I think I like the creativity that goes into really planning and writing something out. So I think writing comedy would be the shit.
Yeah.
I should have taken some of those opportunities in the past, but I'll try and find them in the future.
Let's
So-
both do that.
Okay.
I was thinking about getting an internship over at like Kimmel or something, and I don't mean like through their program. I mean like calling somebody and say, "Hey, can we shadow your writing room for a little bit?"
Is that a thing you can do?
I don't think.
We can't. I know you can because you know.
No,
the
I
people.
think
I'll
I think
just
you
give
could too for the same reasons.
I'll give you my iPhone on record and I'll just listen to it later.
No, I would. I'm trying to see if maybe we could get in on a buddy program or
That would
something.
be awesome. Are you kidding? That'd be insane. That'd be amazing.
I've always thought about it because it's something I feel like I could learn a lot about. It's a place I always thought I should have been but didn't go,
Yeah.
whether it was fear or whatever the heck.
Yeah. We could do another hour.
Do another
on that for
episode on
sure.
that. All right, we've gone way, way long. Thank you so much to the fake. No, you're not the fake. You're just fake Zack Klapman.
Yep,
but you're the
fake Zack
real.
Klapman.
You're real.
I am.
In every way.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Really, I'm honored to be here.
I don't know when I'm going to see you next. Do you? Sunday?
Probably on a Friday. Probably on a Friday or Sunday.
All right.
Really.
Speaking of which, tomorrow we'll be up at Breakfast Club, Newcomb's Ranch, 9 to 11. It's going to be fun.
I have to work tomorrow.
You doing a podcast?
No, I have like office things to do.
Oh, all right.
Like editing, production stuff.
Thanks to you, Zach. We love you, buddy. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to you, Mrs. Ryan. Love you. Correct. And thanks to the viewers and listeners doing all the thank yous. And we'll see everybody out there. That's it.
Thank you guys.
I wanna
Thank you
be like,
guys.
This has been another episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast. You're sitting here. Have a great night, everybody. See you out there.
Calm conversation. I was like, this
We're
is
normally
great.
nice and chill.
You're normally nice, and I was like, I'm gonna try and just do that, and I didn't at all because I'm so used to that